right there. All right. Got it. All right, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We're back inside. So go ahead and come into your comfortable seat. And it is, at least I know I won't get any mosquito bites today in here. I don't think. I got bitten up over the weekend. I'm just so sweet, I guess.
What did you say?
I'm so sweet. I get tons of mosquito bites.
I know, that's why I didn't come out. And it's cold.
Yeah. So as you're seated, I hope you all can hear me. I think you can with the mask, and the mic is close to the mask, so it should be okay. If not, we'll come up with a plan B. So come into your comfortable cross-legged seated position, or whatever seat is good for you. And then do a little of this moving side to side, getting situated. Finding your hip bones, your sit bones, the pointy bones in your butt, kind of scooch them into the floor. And then as you sit up, think about getting your shoulders to come over your hips. So you might want to lean back and forth a little bit. And think about getting nice and tall. So you're lifting up, breathing in, lifting from the crown of your head. And then let your arms relax down. Let your shoulders relax away from your ears and start to lengthen and deepen your breath. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more deep inhale. And exhale everything out. Let your fingertips reach over to the sides of the mat. Stretch arms. And as you stretch your arms, maybe they even come a little bit behind you, opening up through your chest, stretching across, feeling nice and open. And then reach your right arm out. Bring it all the way up by your ear, and then exhale, bend over to the left. Press your left hand into the mat, stretch, lengthening from your back hip all the way up through your rib cage into your armpit. And then if you can, turn your head and look up to the ceiling, just a tiny little bit. And then slowly come back through center. Your left arm out, over, all the way up. Press your right hand into the mat. You want to try and get your left bicep by your left ear. Stretch all the way through the side of your rib cage, out your fingertips, and then come back to center. Go ahead and slightly hold on to your knees, contract your spine, and then start to round yourself all the way forward and back and forward and back. And the next time you're in the front, we're going to switch directions, other way, and around. Oh, I don't think you all can hear that popping, but I'm popping. And the last one, we're going to end up back to the front, sit up nice and tall, and start to make your way into your tabletop position. So you're going to come onto all fours, onto your hands and knees. Line your knees up under your hips, line your hands up under your shoulders, spread your fingers. Take a moment here, rotate your upper arms out, and your elbows are pointing, your elbow eyeballs are pointing forward. And then rotate your arms and release, and rotate your arms. We're going to drop our chest down So your shoulder blades start to meet. You're not really arching your back, but you're dropping your chest down between your arms, and then you're going to press up, okay? And you get a little doming through your shoulder, down, and then press up and away. Drop down. It's a serratus push-up if you want to get really fancy. And then come back to your neutral. We're going to reach our right foot out behind us. Rock back and forth on your right leg, stretching your calf muscle, maybe even finding some flexion through your hip. And we're going to lift our right leg up, bend our right foot, and then pulse our leg up to the ceiling. So what I want you to think about here is keeping the weight between your right hand and your left hand as even as possible. It's easy to start to press the right hand away from you. Shift everything over to the, all right, hold your legs still, and now big circle with our knee. And you might get some popping. Move slowly. It's not a race. You need to lift your belly button up to your spine, other shin into the mat, and now switch directions. So you might have some popping in the hip. As long as there's no pain, that popping is okay. It's some fluids and some air bubbles and stuff like that. All right, now, extend legs straight behind you. We're gonna contract and bring the knee into our nose like a cow spine, and then straighten and lengthen. Sorry, exhale like cat spine. Lengthen and straighten. Exhale. Knee to the ground. Take a moment. Maybe you need to take your right wrist off the ground and move it a bit. Maybe even the left one, depending on what side you were doing. And now reach. What did we do first? Now I completely forgot. Lift your leg up. Yeah. And we pulsed. Did we pulse first?
We did round first.
We did round first?
Switched up and down.
We pulsed. Yeah, I think we pulsed a little bit first.
Yeah.
Just completely forgot that. I was so focused on the rounding. All right. Oh, did we do this back and forth first? Maybe we did that first. The rocking back and forth. Sorry, everyone. Okay, reach your left leg behind you. Rock back and forth. Let's do it this way. And then you're going to lift your left leg up, bend your left leg, hold it here. Find your balance between the two sides. Press into each hand. Now start to make those big circles. Nice and slow. I'll try not to do that again tonight. I don't know where my head went.
Sometimes we think of something else.
I don't know. All of a sudden, I'm just like, I forgot completely. And then switch directions. Whew. I'll go back and watch the video to figure out what it was that I did. All right, now extend that leg behind you. Now I know that we exhaled and we rounded our spine, like coming into cat. And then inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Then wide as your mat. Go ahead and sit back, reach your arms forward. See if you can get your forearms down onto the mat, maybe even your forehead. Make this an active child's pose. So we're not chilling out yet. We've just started. Find a stretch, a traction through your spine, and then pull yourself back up to your tabletop position. Reach your right leg behind you. And once you have it nice and stretched out, draw the right foot all the way up between your hands. You're coming into a supported lunge. So your left knee is down, your right foot is on the ground, and we're going to bring our arms all the way up. Sitting nice and tall. In the Reach, reach. And then when you come down, you're going to bring your hands down. You're going to walk them to behind your heel to either side and shift your hips back. Flex your right toes coming into that runner's lunge. See if you can get your right hip off to the right, your left hip off to the left. And now rock back forward, reach your arms out and come all the way back up. Breathe in. Exhale, slowly come down, press yourself back into that runner's lunge. Inhale, come forward, moving slowly, bring your arms up. Exhale, down. Maybe by the next one, it'll start to feel okay. Rock back forward, reach up. You need to think about your inner thighs, your glutes. This is a lot of balance work, even though we're low to the ground. And one more, reach up. Pause here. Let's try a twist to the right. You can do it. And then come back to center. Rain your fingertips down and slide your right heel back. Do a little shake out side to side. And now reach your left leg back. Breathe here. Bring your left foot all the way up in between your hands. Plant your left foot down. Inhale, bring your arms up, straight up to the sky. Start to press your right shin into the mat so you're finding a stretch through the front of your right hip. You're reaching up. Think about lengthening your tailbone down. And then as you bring your hands down, you're going to place them sort of behind your heel. Shift your hips back, flex your left foot. Inhale, slowly reach forward and up. Exhale, down. Shift your hips back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back, stretching through all the muscles in your legs. Last one, inhale, up. And now exhale, twist to the left, opening your arms up towards that front leg. Breathe. Inhale, back to center. Fingertips come all the way down and come back into your tabletop. From our tabletop, we're going to place our elbows where our hands were. So our elbows should be under our shoulders. Our forearms are on the mat. Our butts are sticking kind of up in the air. You want to see if you can drop your chest down between your hands, coming into sort of a puppy posture. And then if you can, maybe you can even walk your arms a little bit more forward, bringing your forehead or your chest all the way down. So you're on your knees. It's a big stretch through your back, through your shoulders. Maybe your arms need to be a little bit wider, to be able to have some space there. Bring yourself back onto your forearms. From here, we're going to slowly extend our legs out behind us so that we can come into a Sphinx pose. Another type of back bend. Now, in this pose, you don't want to dump into your elbows. You want to think about pressing into your forearms. It should be coming from your forearms, pressing into the mat. It's very strange feeling because most people just go. We're going to practice that. Here, and your back into tabletop. Curling your toes under, going all the way up. Facing dog. Pedaling left. Lengthening the heels. All that. Right. And then reach back at the same time, feeling your hips lift up to the sky. Put out your hands, slow, 1 foot at a time. Coming up into your forward fold, feet hip distance apart. Letting your head hang heavy. Reach for opposite elbows. Release all the pressure in your lower back and then gently sway right to left. Beautiful. And release your fingers, keeping your knees bent. Start to slowly roll all the way up. Stacking one vertebra on top of the other, with your head coming up very last. So now you are standing nice and tall. Everything is back in alignment. We're gonna reach our arms all the way up overhead into a big V shape, like you're holding, they'll always say like you're holding a giant beach ball. Press your hip to the left as you bend over to the right. Inhale back through center and then exhale over to the left. Come back to center. Reach up, lengthen, and lengthen as you start to fold forward, coming all the way back into your forward fold. Inhale, lengthen, flat spine, press into your shins or your thighs. Exhale, fold forward, and then bring your arms into a reverse swan dive all the way back up into that big beach ball shape. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, bend to the right, reach to the right, press your hips to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, press your hips to the right, reach to the left. Inhale through center, lengthen, and then exhale, fold forward, keep spine and coming all the way down. Press into your shins or your thighs, lengthen your spine, lifting your belly button. Exhale, fold forward, in swan dive all the way up. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, press to the right, over to the side. Inhale, back through center, exhale to the other side. And come back through center. Lengthen, exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, lengthen your spine, fingertips on the ground or hands on the shins. Both hands on the ground and slide your right foot back and then your left foot back into your plank position. Take a moment to line your shoulders up over your wrists, reach your heels back, and then drop both knees down. Untuck your toes, bending your elbows, lower your torso down, chest and in. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, back down, coming up through tabletop. Curl your toes back to downward facing dog. Breathe. Long inhale, long exhale. Inhale, pull forward to your high plank. Drop both knees. Bend your elbows. Can you lower down? Not all the way down. Untuck your toes and press yourself back up. Breathe here. Come back through tabletop. Curl your toes, lift your hips up, downward facing dog. So of course you can repeat the previous version at all times. Feel free to move your head if you need to here. Last one. Knees, or if you want to try this time, keep them lifted. Lower yourself all the way down or halfway. Untuck your toes, coming into an upward facing dog or a baby cobra. And then lift your hips into your downward facing dog. Breathe here, reaching your heels back, lifting your hips up. Make sure you're pressing into your pointer fingers and your thumbs, that you're lifting out of your wrist, finding space there. Look forward at your hands, walk your feet back up towards your hands, coming into your forward fold. And from our forward fold, we're going to sit our hips into chair pose. So knees are bent, hips are back, arms are at heart center. Think about pressing all four sides of your feet. It's easy to let your toes roll here. Inhale up and let your arms float down by your side, coming into standing. Take a moment in your standing posture. Check your alignment. Maybe even close your eyes if that is comfortable for you. Do a little rock forward and back on your toes. See if all four sides of your foot, and then smush your entire foot into the mat. It's a weird feeling, but it's good for you. Strengthens your toes. All right, inhale, bring your arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, lift and fold forward, keeping your spine as flat as possible. Fingertips all the way to the ground or your shins. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back to plank. Hold your plank. Go through your version of your vinyasa. So maybe it's knees, lower down, chest and chin. Baby cobra. X through tabletop. Downward facing dog. And breathe. Lift your right foot up behind you. Reach the heel up. See if you can bend your toes. Point your toes down towards the. And then bend your knee, draw your knee towards your nose as you start to think about getting your foot up between your hand. And maybe you have to use your right hand to help your right foot along. Turn your left to the outer edge of your foot, and you're going to reach your arms out to lift yourself up into your warrior one. So in your warrior one, your right toes are pointing forward, you're pressing into the outer edge of your left foot. Breathing here. Bend your front knee a little bit more. And then we're going to lift, we're going to reach for our left wrist and then gently bend over to the right. So you need to press more into your right big toe. And then come back to center. From your warrior one, you're going to twist and open to the left, coming into your warrior two. Reaching your arms out at hip height. Think about opening through your hip. Your right knee is still over your big toe. Straighten your leg. Palms touch overhead. Exhale, melt back down. Lengthen and straighten. Palms touch overhead. Exhale, melt back down. Lengthen and straighten. Exhale, melt. From here, you're going to turn your right palm up. Exhale back, peaceful warrior. Bring your right forearm all the way over to your right thigh and reach your left arm straight up into the air. You're twisting and turning your torso, lengthening the crown of your head to the outer edge of your left foot. Breathe here. Come back to your warrior two, straighten your right leg, turn your right toes so that you're facing the windows, keeping your arms straight out at your side. Now bring your arms to your waist, your Superwoman, Wonder Woman, press into the outer edges of your feet. See if you can lift your thighs, lengthen your tailbone down, and now hinge forward just like we did when we're standing at the top of our mat. So you're trying to keep your spine straight, you're hinging from the hips, go as low as you're comfortable, and when you need to, release your hands and find the floor. Once you find the floor, maybe you can start to walk your fingertips back So they're closer to being in line with your toes, and the crown of your head is pointing towards the ground. We're going to hang here upside down for a few breaths. Now, re-engage your legs, lift your thigh muscles up off your knees, press into the outer edges of your feet so your inner thighs activate. And we're going to walk our hands over to our right foot, bend our right knee, coming into a side lunge. Take a moment to get here, and then we're going to walk through center and walk our hands over to our left foot, coming into our side lunge. When we walk back to the right, we're going to keep walking till we face the front of our mat, coming into low lunge. Plant both hands, step back to plank, go through your version of your vinyasa, knees, chest, chin, full chaturanga, whatever you need to do. And then we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Reaching your heels down behind you. Float your left leg up behind you. Try and keep that leg straight, big toe pointing down, heel reaching up and away from you. Take a few breaths here, and then bend the knee, bringing the foot in between your hands on its own or with some help. All of it's good. From here, you're going to turn your right foot down, press into the outer edge of your right foot, reach your arms out and up, coming into your warrior one. Think about your right hip moving forward as your left hip moves back. Your left knee is over your ankle. Reach your arms up, reach your left hand for your right wrist, lift up and bend gently over to the right. Probably not going very far, careful with your balance. And then come back to center. Breathe in, and on your exhale, open into your warrior two. Nice. Turn your left hand up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. And then when you come through all the way to side angle, bringing your left forearm to your right thigh, reach your right arm straight up, your left forearm to your left thigh, not your right. Reach your right arm straight up. See if you can bend your left knee a little bit more, sit a little bit lower. Think about the line going from the crown of your head to the outer edge of your foot. Fingers nice and straight, reaching up. And then come back to warrior two, straighten your left leg, turn your left toes so you're facing the hallway. Bring your hands to your hips, lengthen your tailbone down, find the length through your front body, exhale, hinge at the hips, bending forward. So your hips might shift back a little bit so that you don't lose your balance. And when you need to, bring your hands down to the floor. Maybe you can walk your fingertips back between your feet, crown of the head reaching down. Breathe here, upside down. And now bend your left knee, walk your left hands over to the left, coming into your side lunge. Walk through center, over to the right, coming into your side lunge. And as we walk back to the left, we're going to keep walking all the way into low lunge. Plant both hands, step back to plank, go through your version of your vinyasa, knees, chest, chin, half push-up, baby cobra, upward facing dog, nice carry. And we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Adjust your down dog. Check that your toes are pointing towards your wrists and your fingers are pointing towards the front of your mat. Think about lengthening your spine. Your hips are reaching up behind you on a diagonal. Float your right foot back up behind you. Hold it up here. Can you reach your left heel down a little bit more? And then bend the right knee, step it all the way up between your hands, coming into your low lunge. Turn your left heel down, reach out and up, coming into your warrior one. Breathe here. Hold on to your right wrist, lift up, exhale, bend over to your, hold on to your left wrist, bend over to your right. And then come back to center, reach your arms up to the sky, twist and open to the right, coming into warrior two, open to the left, sorry, coming into warrior two. Turn your right palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. Come all the way through to side angle, right forearm on right thigh, reach your left arm up. Maybe this time you want to try experimenting if you can get your right hand down onto the ground in front of your right foot. Still reaching your left arm up, sitting your right hip down a little further, deepening the stretch. Come back up to warrior two. Straighten your right leg. Reach your right arm forward, coming into triangle pose. Left arm up. Right hand on your shin or on a block. And we're going to cartwheel our left hand over our right foot. We're going to walk ourselves to the left, coming into our forward fold. Breathe here in the forward fold. Letting your head hang heavy. Gently on your knees as you roll yourself back up to stand. Turn your heels in and sit down, coming into goddess pose. Or wide lunge, wide squat. Your hands can stay at your hips, or if you want to bring them to heart center or out in cactus arms. All of them are beautiful. And now straighten up. You're going to land back in warrior two. Cartwheel your hands down. Step back to plank. Go through your version of your vinyasa. And we will all meet in downward facing dog. Pedal out your down dog. Lengthen the backs of your legs. Point your pointer fingers away from you. Lift your hips, float your left leg up behind you. Hold. Drop your left hip down, reach your right heel closer to the ground. Draw your foot all the way up. Slide it up between your hands, coming into your low lunge. Right heel down, reach forward, up into warrior one. Sitting down a little bit further. Take your left hand and over to the left. Come back to center. Open to the right, coming into your warrior two. Make sure your left knee is over your left ankle. Reach your left palm up. Exhale back, peaceful warrior. Come all the way through to side angle, starting with your left forearm on your left thigh. Reach your right arm up. Maybe you can sit your hip a little bit lower. Maybe you can reach your left hand down to the ground. Deepening the opening through your chest, the twist. Breathe here. Come back to warrior two. Straighten your left leg. Reach yourself forward. Hinging down. Your left hand comes to your shin or to the floor. Reach your right arm straight up. Twisting through the torso again. Pressing into the outer edge of your right foot. Bring your right hand all the way over. Cartwheel it down by your left foot. And then start to walk yourself to the right, to the long side of your mat, letting your head hang heavy. Each time we do this, maybe you feel like your head gets a little bit closer to the floor. That is quite possible. You're stretching through the backs of your legs. You feel like you might be tipping forward just a tiny little bit. And now softly bend your knees, roll yourself back up to stand. Turn your heels in And sit yourself down into your squat, into your goddess pose. Hands can stay here on your weight, on your hips, or you can bring them into cactus arms or into heart center. Hold here, breathing. And as out, you're going to come back into a warrior two, and then cartwheel both hands down, step back to plank, go through your version of your vinyasa, and we will all meet in downward facing dog. Breathe here, reach your heels down, lift your hips up. Maybe you can find some stillness. Reach your right leg up behind you. Flex your foot, point your right big toe down, heel reaching up and away. And then bend the right knee, bringing it towards your nose, bringing your right foot up between your hands. You're in your low lunge. Turn your left heel down, press into the outer edge of your left foot, reach out and up, coming into your warrior one. Take your right hand around your wrist. Before you bend to the right, see if you can sink a little bit lower and then bend to the right. Nice. Come back up to center, extend your arms as you open into your warrior two. Turn your right palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. Straighten your front leg coming into your peaceful triangle. And then come back to warrior two. Bend your right arm, place your right forearm on your right thigh, reach your left arm up. See if you can sit a little bit lower, reach your right. Maybe you want to behind you, coming into a half bind, or maybe you can bring yourself into a full bind. You want to make sure you're still twisting through the torso, opening your heart out to the side. One more breath here. And untwist. Come back to warrior two. Straighten your right leg, hinge forward. Come down into triangle. Reaching your left arm up into the air. And now you're gonna reach your left arm over as we start to walk ourselves back through center, back into that forward fold. Hold here. Lengthen your spine, bringing yourself parallel to the floor. Plant your left hand down, twist up to the right. And then switch sides, bring your right hand down, twist up to the left. And then we're gonna walk our hands over to our front foot. We're coming into a low lunge. From this low lunge, we're gonna walk our hands just a little bit out in front of us and start to shift our weight onto our right leg, lifting our left leg up behind us. And we're coming into a, not quite a warrior three and not quite a full, is a hybrid position. What I really want to focus on is balancing on one leg, using your arms. I don't care how far your left leg is off the ground. And then bend your right knee, place your left leg on the ground, plant your hands and step back to plank. Go through your version of your vinyasa and we will meet in downward facing dog. Now that we're back inside, we're gonna start doing a little bit more balancing on one leg because I'm not as afraid of falling on the cement as I am on the carpet. All right. Reach your left leg up behind you. Flex your left foot, point your left big toe down towards the mat. Lengthening, and then bend your left knee, start to draw it towards your nose, sliding your left foot all the way up between your hands. Turn your right heel down. Press into the outer edge of your right foot. Reach your arms out and up. Breathe here. Sit a little bit lower. Reach your left hand onto your right wrist. Reach up and bend over to the left, seeing if you can get just a little bit deeper this last time. And then reach your arms up, open into warrior two. Turn your left palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. Straighten your left leg, peaceful triangle. Come back to warrior two, all the way through. Left arm on left leg, reach your right arm up. And then if you can sit a little bit lower, reach your left hand down to the floor or a block. And maybe you want to explore the bind with your right hand behind you. Maybe you can find your left hand under your left leg. Breathe here. Untwist the bind. Straighten your left leg. And come into your forward fold. Letting your head hang heavy. Breathing here, pressing into the outer edges of your feet. Feel the backs of your thighs stretch. That would be perpendicular, parallel to the ground. Plant your left hand, twist up to the right, and then switch sides. Plant your right hand, twist up to the left. And then you're gonna walk yourself over into a low lunge, left foot forward. From here, your hand, palm print or two in front, and you're gonna start to straighten your leg, lifting your right leg behind you. So it doesn't matter how far off the ground the right leg goes. The idea is to be on your left foot with both hands. One more breath here, and then bend your left foot. Step back into plank. Go through vinyasa, and we will meet in downward facing dog. Breathing here, down dog. We're gonna move into pigeon. So lift your right leg up behind you, bend your right knee, open your hip to the right, letting your right foot hang off to the left side of your body. A little bit further. And now you're gonna bring your right knee towards your right wrist, your left foot across your body, and start to slide your left leg back behind you. Take a moment here, sitting up. Start to slow your breath down. Come to your forearms. Rest on your forearm. Letting your heart rate settle a little bit. You don't want to drop your breath away. And now you can either stack your palms like two hot potatoes and bring your forehead down, or maybe you can bring your forehead all the way down to the ground. Or maybe you have a pillow or something at home that you're bringing the floor up towards you. Slowly try and let your head, neck, and shoulders relax. You want to reach your left foot and see if you can walk it a centimeter further away from you. And if you can, just quickly glance over your left shoulder. Make sure that your foot isn't shaped like a banana, that it's nice and straight. While you're relaxing into this, if it's too deep, if it's too much, come out of it a little bit. Lift your torso up, bring your legs closer together. As you start to back under your forearms, we'll take a few breaths there. And then lift up, bend your left leg, and back with your right arm for your left foot. Might not be happening, and that's fine. Maybe it's easier for you to do same arm and same leg. For me, it's easier to cross over. And then slowly release. Make your way into table. From tabletop, you'll curl your toes under, lift yourself up back into downward facing dog. Float your left leg up behind you, bend your big opening, reach your right heel down. And now bring your left knee towards your left wrist, your left ankle towards your right wrist, and start to slide your right foot back behind you. Stay upright here. Few more breaths, and now start to slowly come down onto your forearms. We're going to hang out on our forearms for a few more breaths. As we settle into this, check that your foot is straight. You want your thigh and your kneecap pointing down towards the mat. You want to try and get your hips as even as possible. Back your hands, bringing your forehead down either onto your hands or all the way onto the mat. You love tensioning your head, neck, and shoulders. If you're able to, open your elbows out to the side. Let your chest relax into the ground. Maybe you can walk your right leg back just a bit more. And breathe. Start to come back onto your forearms, pausing here. And then lift yourself up a little bit further, bend your right leg, and if you can, reach around with your left arm. And I have to do the same arm, so it's different for everyone. Just try and see if you can get any stretch through your quad. And then release that. Coming into tabletop. Shake your hips side to side. Curl your toes under, sit your heels back, and you're going to come all the way into a squat. So your heels can be lifted in a froggy squat. Hang out here. Maybe you can rock a little bit side to side. More hip opening, because who doesn't love hip opening? And then we're going to go backward, arms behind you, and sit your bum down. Reach your legs out in front of you, nice and long. Sit up straight. Think about this L shape from your legs to your torso. Can you flex your toes enough that your heels come off the ground? We're not going to keep them like that, but we're just going to practice it and then relax them back down. Flex and lift. And then relax them back down. And then last time, flex and lift. And relax them back down. Draw your right foot in towards the inside of your left thigh. Straighten, lengthen, hinge forward, nice and slow. If you get a little sticky part, maybe out there for a breath too. And then when you're ready, you can fold completely over your leg, letting your hands where they fall, which could be on your thigh, your calf, your toes. Everyone's a little different. But what I do want everyone to try and do is to relax your upper body. You know, we hunch and we carry all this tension in our head and our shoulders, all of that finger typing we do. And so if it's more comfortable for you to bend that leg and rest your forehead on your knee, You can do that too. You don't have to have the legs straightened. Just looking at different options. And up. We're going to take our left hand to our right knee and then bring our right. Gentle twist. Look over your right shoulder if you can. And then come back to center. Extend both legs back in front of you. And shake your little. And then draw the left foot in towards your right thigh. Sit up nice and tall. Reach your arms up. Lengthen. And reach forward. If you get sticky or stuck, you can back in and out a little bit, like a little bit of a wave. On fluid motion. Time to notice how you're feeling and address anything that isn't feeling fantastic. Backing out of something if it hurts. And when you're ready, let your hands come all the way down. Let your head, neck, and shoulders relax. When you let your head relax, you might feel the stretch through your spine all the way into the back of your leg. That is how much everything is attached to each other. Relax here. Breaths. And then start to slowly roll yourself back up. To your left, you bring your left arm behind you. Look over your left shoulder, coming into your twist. And then come back to center. Draw both touching, coming into your cobbler's pose, and round forward. Maybe your elbows press your inner more. There's different variations here. You can keep your spine straight and reach your head out past your toes, or you can round in on yourself, stretching through your lower back. Pick the one that feels the most nourishing to you, the one that's going to bring you the most good feeling tonight. And then slowly roll up and out of that. We're going to bring our feet onto the floor. We're going to roll slowly using those abs. Reach your arms away from you. Breathing in. Exhale, lower. Inhale, exhale, lower. Nice and slow. You know that once we get down there, we're going to be done. So take your time. Letting your head come all the way down last. Reach your feet away from you. Reach your arms overhead like you're taking a big good morning stretch. If there are any last movements you want to do before we make our way into Shavasana, go ahead and take those now. Otherwise, start to lengthen your arms away from you. Let your palms turn up. Let your feet fall out to the side. Think about all of the nutrients and energy flowing through your body, and then letting it start to settle rest, moving into your stillness. Breathing slowly. Carrie, can I touch your feet? Start to deepen your breath. Start to feel the cage lift and fall. Take a deeper breath. Expand your lungs. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. If it feels good for you, reach your arms up overhead. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And then if you want, draw your knees into your chest. Give your shins a big hug. Rock a little bit side to side. And then when you're ready, roll onto one side. And slowly press yourself up to a seated position, taking your time. Those of you at home are more than welcome to stay in your Shavasana. And then once you're seated, bring your arms out to the side, all the way overhead so your fingertips touch. Draw that energy down towards the center of your body, holding it in by your chest. Drop your chin. Acknowledge all of the hard work that you did tonight and the attention that you gave yourself. Thank you all for coming and letting me lead you.
Thank you.
Thank you.